And we're live. We're starting it a couple minutes early. It is climbing up to 100 degrees today, and I'm running a few minutes late. So let's just get right into it today. Let's see who's all here today. We got Raj. How's it going? Stuart, Clown, Steve's here. Rod's here. Muzin, hello, hello. Hey, Lord Git. So I am going to... Maurice, you're here nice and early. I'm going to update you guys kind of on what happened since last week. And one unfortunate thing that happened this morning, right before the stream started, so probably won't be printing today, unfortunately. We'll see. We'll see. There's a few things. It depends on how quickly we get them done and if I'm able to get this, the piece that we need. So, again, bear with me. It is super hot. I've got ice cold water, so I'll be drinking plenty of water. So, quick update from last week's stream. Last week, hey Gergman! Last week we ran into a bit of an issue, and that issue was... Let me move this cable chain out of the way. Hey Beads! So, the issue was that the Y... Hold on, make sure we're on the table. The X-axis linear rail block. So the bearing block, the big silver guy right here. When we went all the way to the end, it was rubbing on the printed part. So it was fine, and then it was binding and rubbing on the printed part. So I did a couple things. I loosened the X rail and pushed it as far this direction as I could. And it seemed to help a little bit, but we were still rubbing. And I think it was Lord Git that had the idea of basically taking a deburring tool, because we were really close to having enough clearance. But I'm pretty sure it was Lord Git that said, hey, why don't you try taking a deburring tool and just running it on the corner of these parts where it's scraping. And I did that, and we are super smooth, and we are clearing it now. So we only needed a little bit of clearance, and that seemed to do it. I don't know why that even happened or was necessary in the first place, unless maybe Siboor at some point switched out their X-rail to a slightly different size one, or they swapped up the printed parts. I really don't know. I would think that everyone would have ran into that same problem, but it is resolved, and if anyone is building one of these runs into the same issue, just using a slight deburring tool seemed to fix that. Hey Tuxedo! So once I got that all situated, I mounted the toolhead, which is the dragon burner. This is primarily what we did last week on stream, was get this guy assembled. So it's on. It looks good. It does stick out quite a bit just based off the way it's mounted. I don't know. It feels like it sticks out quite a bit, but it's rigid-ish. I mean, we have essentially tap on here, which is going to have an impact on the overall rigidity because the entire toolhead is basically balancing on a small linear rail, but it's rigid-ish. The issue I ran into, though, is that right before the stream, I plugged in the, wire harness to the plug on the back of the PCB, and it uses a printed part for this corner here. You can't see that because chat is in the way. It uses a printed part for this corner here, and this piece just snapped. So that's unfortunate. I am printing it again right now on the Core 1 that is upstairs out of PCCF, but by the time the printer heats up and actually prints it, it's probably going to be like an hour. So we'll see. Let's try to get everything else done and see if we can kind of play catch up in getting that installed. The main stuff that we need to do today before this would be ready to print anyway is do the rest of the wiring and get the electronics installed, like the power supply and the controller and all that good stuff. I use my own printed parts. I'm not a fan of the Sunlu ABS Plus. Yeah, I mean, I think that for the majority of their parts are going to be fine. The biggest issue with this part is really orientation. So this is printed, like, layer lines are basically going, like, from your point of view, left to right. And so these end pieces here are the weakest link. So like I mean, that was really easy to snap. So I didn't change orientation on the part I'm printing upstairs, but I'm hoping that with the PCCF, we just have a bit more. It's going to be stiff, which will be the only problem, is it won't want to flex. So I will keep that in mind and see if I can maybe compress the cable chain versus trying to, you know, stretch out the printed part a little bit. You didn't have extras? Oh my God, Maurice, it's hot in this garage. You're actually correct. We should have 2 sets of all those black parts, dude. This is why I need you guys. This is why I need you guys, amongst other reasons. Let me see if I have another one of those, because you're right. I should have a spare of all the black parts. So let me really quickly see. I'm still a bit nervous that I won't be able to get the chain on without snapping that part again, but let's see if we've got... Oh, where would you be? You would be... Not there, not there. Not there. Could you be in here, possibly? No. So that part looks like it's basically just a... There should be a spare. Maurice is correct. So here's the cable. Okay, here's one of the cable chain pieces. That's not it. That's not it. Why am I not seeing this piece? It should absolutely... Is this it? No. It should be in here. But oh, no, that's not it either. Okay, let's move this over here. Oh, that's why they pay me the big... Yeah, man, we gotta keep you on payroll. Hey, Down Under. Okay, so we're really quickly checking here. Maurice had a good point. I'm supposed to have 2 of all the black parts because they printed out different pieces. So let's see if they got it. So I'm just gonna start throwing pieces up here till I hopefully see it. This is not it. This is not it. It's possibly under. All the black parts are sort of just shoved into these little foam pockets. So I'm just gonna start laying out all the parts until I hopefully spot it. Let me just make sure. No, it's not in this bag. It's definitely not in there. Let's see. That doesn't look like it. Here. No, there's quite a few pieces that look really similar. I don't get it. It's like the one piece I'm not seeing is the piece that I need. I'm at a loss, Maurice. I'm at a loss. I am not seeing that piece. I literally see every other part that we've used. Interesting. What step is that? You might be ahead of me now. So it's right after the toolhead goes on. It is... it's this piece right here. No, it is this piece right here. But yeah, it basically just snapped on me. And ironically, it is the one piece I don't seem to have a spare of. I've gone through just about everything now, so I don't know. I don't know. So, it was a great idea. It was definitely a great idea. But yeah, it doesn't seem to be here, which is interesting. So, oh well, let's move forward. Yeah, let's move forward. Super strange. Hey, Ranch. Okay. So strange that piece is not here. All right. So I think one of the first things we're doing today is quick print though. Yeah, I'm printing it in PCCF on the Core 1, and I think it's like with the profile, a 25-ish minute print, but it says it's gonna take an hour because of the heat soak. I'm wondering if I can skip the heat soak from my phone It's probably doing the heat soak right now. Let's see. Let's see. It's trying to cool down the... It's cooling down the bed from 115 to 110 right now, so we'll see. Hey, Lisa! Okay, so yeah, we'll skip this and return to this. So we are on electronics and bottom panel. So this looks like we've just got M36 flat heads going through the back panel, but that's an acrylic panel. So what is... They didn't, I assume they didn't tap the acrylic, did they? I have been making really good progress on printing out Unimog parts as well. The frame is done, and I was originally just going to print a couple pieces in PCCF now, because I'm mostly doing PETG, but I'm doing more pieces than I initially intended in PCCF, so if we don't start that build next week, which we'll probably be doing a final stream on this next week based off how things are looking, the following week we will start the Unimog build. So, okay, so this looks like this piece is just going like this, but it looks like they're just threading it into acrylic, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but we will see if they did tap the acrylic. And if they did, I will be very careful to make sure I don't damage anything. They screwed right in just fine. Interesting. Okay. Well, or maybe they didn't tap it. Maybe they just slightly made the holes slightly too small, so that way it taps itself. And we're looking for M36 flatheads, which are gonna be these little guys. Any nuts? No, there's not any nut traps in the acrylic. The acrylic is too thin in itself for nuts, and I was wondering if maybe sorry, I'm trying to find a driver while talking. I was wondering if maybe there was going to be some roll-ins behind them, but it doesn't look like it. So let's just see if this threads in. Yeah, they thread in just fine, like you said. I won't over tighten them though, because this is just thin plastic. Getting pretty excited, taking the family camping this weekend. So my mind is even more scattered than normal as we sort of do the last bit of prep. We've never camped as a family. Aaron and I have never camped together, so I am super excited. Jack's definitely excited, although I would say it seems like he's mostly excited for marshmallows. Every time I talk about camping, he says, "And marshmallows?" I'm like, "Yeah, buddy, we're gonna do marshmallows." Okay, that seems plenty tight. I'm not gonna over tighten it. Basically, just want it to hold in place. Next up, we are taking the bottom panel. So let me, where do I want to place this printer for now? I think I could probably just, let's see. If I scoot this guy right here, I think that'll give me enough area to work here. Hey, Ballistic! I'm going up to camp? What does that mean? Is that like glamping? I also had a moment of panic a little bit ago, thinking that I threw out the panel because I didn't see the panel anywhere, but it was just underneath one of the foam pieces that fully came out. So let's see. Oh, nice. Sounds awesome. Yeah, I think I told you guys, right, about like our whole tent fiasco, that I bought a tent back in November and we never like assembled it. It's just been in the garage because I knew we weren't camping for a while. And then I went to assemble it and the pole snapped, and it's on a tent that Coleman makes that is supposed to be like an easy setup. So you can't just replace the pole without taking a hacksaw to cut the thing off. So they sent me a second tent. In the second tent, when I went to place the first pole in, Aaron helped me on that one. The fabric just tore out, so we ended up going with a completely different brand of tent. I'm thankful that we didn't take the tent camping before trying to set it up because while I mostly laughed about the situation when we were in our front yard, if we had driven a couple of hours to the wilderness and then I snapped a pole or tore the fabric out, I probably would have been laughing a little bit less. I don't think Aaron would have found it super funny either. Okay, so to make sure orientation is correct, it looks like this is the orientation we want. Hey, John! Used to camp almost once a month when my boys were younger and in scouts. Yeah, I need to go camping again when it's cooler. It's been a couple of years. It's gonna be hot, like, gosh, this weekend here, I think it's like 100, Nampa, weather, Fahrenheit. Yeah, so today's the warmest, oh no, today's 95 degrees, and then we're going Friday, Saturday, Sunday, so it'll be 98. But where we're going camping is a little higher elevation, and we're close to water, like nearly on a lake. So it's still gonna be hot. The high is 87, so we're definitely gonna bring some trunks, and I will probably pick up a few extra bags of ice. So camping here, hard nope. Yeah, you guys, you guys have a lot of more outdoor stuff that wants to harm you. Camped as a kid, not my thing. My brother, however, loves it. Yeah, it was a big part of my childhood. So okay, so it looks like these guys are going like this, facing outward. And it looks like these. Okay, there are threads in the acrylic, so I'm not. Well, I was gonna say I'm not crazy, but that's not entirely true. But in this case, I'm not crazy. Do we need a 3mm or a 2mm driver? Nope. This is so we need a 3mm driver, and I think we should have 3mm drivers. There we go. It's 88 Fahrenheit in the UK. Man, whew. What printer am I bringing? No printers. I'm not even sure how we're gonna fit everything, man. Like I'm thankful because like when I camped, you know, growing up, it was always my. Okay, is that all we're doing? It was always my parents that did all the planning, you know, obviously in camping or not camping, planning and packing. So this is my first time, and thankfully REI has like a PDF checklist of things to bring for camping. So I'm just gonna use that as like my hit list. Steve, how's it going, Steve? With the 49 freaking months. That's crazy. So we're over the 4-year mark and headed to 5. I don't know if you saw, Steve, but I was just showing that like my plan was to get printing today, and then every time I try to do something before stream starts, it goes wrong. But I basically snapped the printed part for the cable chain mount, so we'll see if we can get everything else done. I am printing that part out now, but we'll see how it goes. Let's see. Zombie with the 47 months, 2 years less cool. What? Oh, there we go. I was like, why didn't it work? You are 1 month away from 4 years, Zombie. Man, thank you for all the support. I also saw you did a big post. Are you changing up your content style, or are you just like gonna start doing new series, or? We did get, so I am still working on some of the, Raj with the 15 months, or no, 16 months, man. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. I'm still working on getting approval for the building permit. I did submit a bunch of stuff yesterday, but I do have a date not this Friday, but next Friday, concrete gets poured. And then on the, I think it's the 27th was the soonest date they had, the shed will get built. So I am getting excited about that. Also, as soon as I can get a hold of an electrician and get them to route conduit, I'm probably going to heavily look into getting the mini split for the garage. I don't know that I can survive the whole summer, because it's not just streams. Like, I do a lot of work out here for like Lightburn and Millmage stuff, and I'm out here a lot, and so I just think I need to figure out an AC thing for my overall health and happiness. It's brutal. Okay, so I think this looks like this is the orientation we want this in. Well, oh, nice, fully edited YouTube videos finally. No one told me how, gosh, yeah. It's funny that, like, in general, I met a lot of people, not even just for like YouTube stuff, but video creation in general, that are like, yeah, I really want to make videos. It seems like a lot of fun. And there's truth to that. Like, it is a lot of fun. I love it. But it is also incredibly tedious. And like, it's one thing to make a video. It's another thing to make a video, rinse and repeat, make a video, rinse and repeat, make a video, rinse and repeat over and over and over and over and over, you know, again. So, yeah, I think a lot of people, like, you know, from the outside looking in, like, oh yeah, like, how hard is it to make videos? But man, it is, you know, if you don't enjoy the process, I don't see how you could stick with it long term. It is, Rob with the 5 gifted member. Man, you guys, thank you so much for all the support. I really appreciate it. Let's see, Daniel Mount got a membership. Trevor got one. Is that Bryce? Yeah, Bryce got one. Roman got one, and James got one. I thought I wanted to try my hand at YouTube until I tried editing a video. Yeah, it's you have to try to enjoy the process, or it will absolutely wreck you. I mean, even after, gosh, like, I've been doing 3D printing videos for like 12 years, but even before that I was doing YouTube videos. And even to this day, I still, with a lot of videos, hit a point in the editing process where I'm like, all right already, like. And especially as my videos have gotten longer, I'm a squirrel, you guys know this. So like, it's really difficult for me to just sit there for, you know, 4, 6, 8, 10 hours editing. And yeah, it's a challenge. It's a challenge. I was up last night till 2. I told Aaron I was gonna call it at like 1 in the morning, but I stopped editing around 2 in the morning. You know, it's a huge part of my life, and thankfully, you know, Aaron's super understanding and has been a part of it for a long time, but it is, my life largely revolves around, you know, around making videos, whether it's for Lightburn or for, you know, for YouTube. But I do really enjoy it, which is why, you know, I've been able to stick it out and continue for such a long time. But yeah, it's definitely, I'm all for anybody that wants to create videos. I just, like, I think that most people don't really understand exactly what goes into it. You know, I mean, how can you, right? Until you've done it. I teach video media classes, no interest in doing it for hobby. Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a thing. It's a thing. I try to find ways to make it more efficient, but there's really only so much you can do. The bottom line is, like, things have to get edited. Okay, these holes, I'm gonna loosen these screws a little bit, so hopefully I've got a little bit more play. We're like pretty close. Is there film on this? It kind of looks like there's film, but it kind of looks like there's not. I'm not convinced there's film on this. No, I'm gonna leave it. It's fine. The bed level yet? Of course. Of course. Okay, there's that. All right, we did get all of our screws in. Your videos are very inspiring. I know how much work goes in it. I appreciate it, Zombie. It's one of those things, right, where I think for anyone that creates anything, like, I'm always looking at other people thinking like, wow, their videos are so good. I wish mine had this or does this. And then, you know, like, I appreciate the feedback, but it's one of those things where I think I try to look at other, not even just 3D printing, but like just videos in general to like get inspiration and learn things that I like that other people do. But with a lot of things in life, like I try my best to focus on my own journey and like how far my channel's come. And like anytime I feel like, man, I don't feel like the videos are exactly where I want them to be, or I can do this or that better. If I just look back like 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, I'm like, oh no, like they really have gotten a lot better. So I try to remind myself that as much as I possibly can. But yeah, that's exciting, man. That's exciting. You've obviously got a lot of experience with 3D printing and are incredibly passionate about it. And I mean, you've been doing that whole like one-shot thing where you sort of record a segment on your stream and turn that into its own standalone thing, which like I couldn't do that. It would take me so much practice. I'm such a squirrel, it would take me so much practice to do that. I mean, I did, hold on, let me make sure I've got the right standoffs here. M3 by 8 by 6. Okay, these look like the little guys. Yeah, I mean, for probably the first 10 plus years of making YouTube videos, I just hit record and started yapping. And it just, I mean, people watched and the channel grew, but I just decided that I wasn't happy with the content. I'm just too squirrely, and I end up adding a bunch of additional side tangents. Like, I mean, it's basically like the stream, but in video form. And so since oh, interesting, these standoffs stick out the other side, which is fine. What was I saying? Yeah, I've been much happier with the content since I've started scripting it. I still will freestyle a little bit here and there. Like, I'll like look at the script because I'm not reading. I don't use a teleprompter, which I probably should. It would probably make the recording process go a lot quicker. I basically look over at the script, see what the next little bit's supposed to say, and then kind of go off the cuff depending on what I'm saying. If it's something super technical, then I'll often read it because I don't want to screw up on, you know, some sort of numeric value. But these are not going in. Hold on. But yeah, it's taken me a while to figure out how to even do the script thing because I write different than I speak, at least ever so slightly. And so sometimes even when I'm trying to say something I've written, I'm like, that feels a little bit strange to me. That power supply can have enough juice, looks small. I hope so. It is a 300 watt power supply, and we're basically using the equivalent of a like Ender style bed. So I hope so. We'll find out. It's probably not going to heat up real quick. I've gotten much better at that. Mainly need to be prepared and not break things during stream. Yeah, well, when you figure out how to not break things during stream, you let me know. That is something that I am trying to figure out myself. Come on. Okay, this is breaking the plastic ever so slightly. I think I might just take an M3 bolt and run it through these threads. Here, let's just take this guy. I think I could probably use nuts if I did break these, break the acrylic threads, but let's try not to. We've broken one thing on before today's stream, and that's really our quota. Scripting makes me sound wooden, off the cuff, and live works better for me. Yeah, it's a challenge. I avoided scripting for a long time, partially for that reason as well. And I still have lots of okay, this is going in, I think. I don't love that. Let me try from the other side. Yeah, I still don't always love how I sound when I am scripting stuff, so. I think with a lot of things though in life, right? Like, it's practice is key, so the more you do it, the better, you know, better it should be. Better it should become. I don't know. Okay, so I think that one worked. This one seems like it's going in just fine, so. Are those holes pre-threaded? They are pre-threaded, yeah. But I've already sort of blown out one of them a little bit. Probably help if I had like a screwdriver with a socket on it. Let's see if that'll do it. Come on. Okay, we got this one. Yeah, no, they're threaded tuxedo. Okay, that's in. Just one last one. One last one. Nope. Come on, baby. Don't go sideways. We need you to go in straight. Come on, dude. I think I got it. Maybe? Yeah. There we go. Have you ever heard of the Second SK Go printer? I mean, I've heard of Second. We built one of them on stream maybe 3 years ago now. It's basically like a sheet metal frame printer. It was a pretty cool printer. I ended up donating it. I can't remember to who. Someone I think came out. Someone came out to pick up something, and I just was like, "Hey, do you want another printer?" Is this the one you're talking about? This one looks like it's more extrusion and acrylic frame based. The one we built was the Second Cube, I think. Yeah, the Cube. There was some interesting parts to this build, but overall, it's a pretty. I mean, it was a very heavy, rigid machine. But yeah, unfortunately, I don't have it anymore. Hey, nice. Hey, Killa. One trick you can try is turn the screw counterclockwise until you feel the screw click or drop and start turning. Yeah, I know that we did that a lot on the sheet metal for the Prusa, which was super helpful. I will probably try it with some of the other threads on here. With these little standoffs, it felt tricky to sort of find or feel anything. But oh yeah, you built a Cube too. Yeah, the Cube. It's a really cool printer. I mean, it's definitely. Not since it doesn't use aluminum extrusions, it's a unique build in that sense, and there's certain design considerations that were, taken into place. But yeah, I think that if you build it correctly, and I think there was a few things that maybe could have used a little bit of tweaking, but overall, it was a solid machine. Yeah. Okay. How's your move going, Killa? I saw that you've basically packed up your life. Are you moving? Are you moving far away? Are you moving like how far are you moving? I don't envy you, man. I mean, when we moved from just the rental to this house, which was like a mile down the road, man, just moving all the machinery and all the filament, like you showed your crazy amount of boxes, like it was so much work. So much freaking work. All right, so now we need our controller. Let's see. Here it is. Someone's selling the SK Go with a 3010, 3010, and Ender 3, and a few tools to put $200. Thinking about getting it as a printer. I mean, for $200, like, I mean, obviously, depending on. Hold on, let me make sure this is right. Depending on if you didn't have that $200 allocated for something else, like it probably would be fun to play around with. I just don't know the specifics of that model. It looks like it's more extrusion based and acrylic panel based than like metal framed. I'm moving to Nebraska. Oh wow, dude, leaving Friday morning. What? Out of curiosity, what made you decide on Nebraska? Whereabouts in California are you? I'm sure you know, but like I was born and raised in Riverside, and then when I was 25, I moved to Orange County for work, and then we moved. Me and my wife moved from California to Idaho. Gosh, it's been, I think, 4.5 years now. We love it. We absolutely love it. Fun fact, there's a company that still says ANET A8 frames. I bought one. Like ANET A8, like acrylic frames or what? Did someone look to the new Peoply printer? Yeah, the monster one, right? Hey, Peter. Okay, so we've got our... Oh, interesting. So we're basically just installing a standoff into a standoff. We've got ourselves a standoff. All right, let me grab the other guys that I just put back in the box then. Up the street from Riverside at Edwards now. Nice, man. That's funny, man. Small world. I wish I knew you before I moved. It would have been cool to meet up. I didn't realize that you were. I didn't realize you were in California. Okay, got it, because of work. What's the overall feeling about the move? Like, is it excitement? Is it uncertainty. Like, I'm curious as to what you're, like, what you and the family sort of are feeling like. I'm sure it's gonna be awesome, man. Like, I mean, it'll be an adventure, no doubt. Okay, so these ones are much easier. Threading metal into metal is a lot easier than threading metal into acrylic. Oh, nice. The metal frames. Got it. That means it's like the ANET AM8 frame then. That makes sense. I mean, that was such a popular frame. I'm sure that there's just kits or, like, you know, extrusions in a warehouse somewhere. We're excited to go to Omaha. Our 7th move. Oh my gosh. Nice. Thank you so much, man, for the 5 gift memberships, buddy. I don't know if you heard nice, but next Friday we're getting concrete poured, and on the 27th the shed gets built. I'm still waiting. I have not heard back from any electrician, so I'm basically just having the concrete guy shove a 2-inch pipe into the concrete slab so that way we can route conduit into it. And I'm still trying to finalize some of the building permit stuff. It got approved by, like, zoning, it got approved by flood, it got approved by one other department, but building denied it. They were asking for information about the shed and the electrical, so I just sent that over yesterday, and I'm waiting to hear that. Only lived here for 2 years. Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah, I didn't realize, I had no idea you have moved that many times. So you guys are pros at moving then. Because, yeah, outside of living in California, like, I mean, I moved a lot in California, but, like, it was more like apartment bouncing and condo bouncing and stuff like that. But this is the only other state we've ever lived. So you've seen a lot more of the country than I have, it sounds like. All right, standoffs are in. Are you gonna have a pretty sweet space for? Are you gonna have a pretty sweet space for 3D printing and video stuff? Okay, interesting. So this is going to be okay. Let's let's change cameras. Let's zoom out so you can see all my junk underneath there. Oh yeah, a full basement, and oh my gosh. So you didn't tell me you're moving into a mansion, man. That's awesome. I've never even been in a basement, dude. Like, my idea of a basement is largely from that 70s show. And I always thought as a kid, like, dude, a basement just looks awesome. So that's exciting. I mean, as much as the move itself is going to be, you know, tedious, once you get there and get things all set up, it's going to be awesome. Okay, so let's turn this on its side like this. Do I have? Yes, I did preload some nuts. So we've got nuts. My condolences to all the soccer fans in the U.S. Oh, did the U.S. just lose the World Cup? I have not been keeping up with it. Bearded, you are right on time, man. You are right where you should be. All right, so this is going. Let me match this. So this is the right orientation, and it looks like power supply is supposed to be on that side, and this guy is just going. Okay, let's just put these wires out of the way. Okay, so it looks like there should be. Let me zoom in a little bit and focus. Okay, so it looks like there should be plenty of space for these wires that I'm pinching. Let me see if I can just kind of shove these for now. Just shove these on the inside like this. And stand this up like that. Wait, what am I doing? The wires for this should not be going on the inside because the board, okay. So the only wires that should be going on the inside are these ones down here, I think, for the power supply. Everything else to me looks like it's probably, what are we stuck on? Oh my God. Hold on. What are we stuck on? It seems like it's the bottom side here is rubbing on something. Is it? Oh, wait, it's the... Yeah, we're rubbing on the AC inlet. How do we get around that? I must be installing this. No. Oh, what are we doing? Hey, Jose! I think it goes in the other way around. That makes way more sense. But does that mean I did this? No, I'm just looking at orientation wrong. Ignore me. That's what the big cutout is for. Okay, so if that's the case, then this should just slot like that. That makes way more sense. Okay, so... what are we hitting now? It looks like we're hitting the bottom of this extrusion. There we go. All right, here, where's our...
That was easy.
And for tuxedo. All right, there we go. Cool. Only, yeah, there's, to be perfectly honest with you, most of my builds don't have bottom panels. My 2.4 has never gotten a bottom panel. In my Trident's defense, I went with the reverse electronics bay, which I really like. I'm just constantly fiddling with stuff, and so I tend to like having the bottom easily accessible. At least that's what I tell myself. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure everything's lined up. That looks fine. That's fine now. Are you guys, for the move, are you guys hiring movers to help at all, or are you guys just doing it solo dolo? Okay, so I am gonna have to take this panel off because none of the nuts are actually accessible on the left and right side. So let's try this again. I might just need to sort of kind of eyeball it, and then there's that one's in. That one's good. That one's good enough. Okay, the one that's going to be a little bit challenging is on this side because of the AC inlet. Steve hinted that you guys will be working together again. Super says, yes, I'm excited. It always takes... Steve is a busy guy. Well, Steve is a world traveler, and I always seem to... It takes me 1 quarter on average to finish any build, so it always takes like a lot of planning to make it happen, but it's always so freaking fun, so I'm also really excited. Hopefully we'll have more to announce soonish, but yeah, it'll be fun, man. What's your next big big build or big project you're working on? Okay. Wait, we're missing... You know, I don't think we're missing a nut as much as there's probably a nut that's stuck underneath here because I placed that over it. So let's see if we've got an extra... Yeah, it looks like we've got a couple spare nuts. Okay. Oops. Nice. Okay, I think we're good. Everything seems pretty well aligned. Whew, oops. We have the military move us. Nice. Taking the printers in a moving truck though, got it. That's cool. That's cool at least. We've never had movers like I don't know if I had to move again, I would heavily consider it with my messed up back and all the heavy stuff we've got. But it's always just been us and the help of thankfully like mom, dad, and maybe a couple of friends. But yeah, having at least someone that can take all the boxes that you've packed up. And did you guys have to pack up all the boxes, or did you guys get help with that too? I don't really know. Like I know that with moving they'll definitely load the boxes, but I can't remember if like you are required to do all of the other loading or how that works. Okay, so we need M58 button heads. M58 button heads. These are gonna be these guys. Hey, Deanna. Kayla has moving done easy. I imagine his job... Yeah, his job does most of it. Okay, so we need 6, it looks like 6 of these screws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I got my salad fork bottom in. Oh, nice. I didn't realize you were building a salad fork. I must have. Oh, wait. This is Lone Star. Yeah, I didn't know you. I definitely didn't know you were building one. So, since you are getting the bottom panel from Send Cut Send, does that mean you just self-source the build? So I assume a kit would have came with the bottom panel. Been working on salad fork tool changer 6 for far too long. Got to finish that. Then I have several options. Should do a series with me sometime. Once you're settled in, we can definitely chat. I think that based off of the time frame on what I'm doing with Steve, and then I really want to do an index conversion. Also, I realized that monolith was supposed to happen. It would probably be a 2027 thing, but if we map it out like in advance, I would not be against that. They pack everything, they load everything, but they break. Oh God, yeah. I can understand definitely now why you'd want to move your printers yourself, especially with how much time goes into building them. You know, when we moved from California to Idaho, me and my dad were loading up some of the printers on the U-Haul, and it was the switch wire. I think what happened was I was using these like IKEA workbench carts that I really like them, but they're sort of just like sheet metal frame, and the U-Haul, like for anyone that hasn't moved really, but like a U-Haul, it's like got this metal ramp, and it's got this like metal, like kind of ribbed, like lined, I don't know, great texture to it. I think it's primarily like that, so that way if it's wet, you don't hopefully slip, but it's not the most friendly as far as like rolling things on there. And so I think what happened was we were like trying to balance a bunch of printers that were in boxes while we were rolling it up. And hold on, let me make sure this is going in correctly. And when we got to the top, I think that either the printer hit the top of the U-Haul or the legs buckled, because I know we lost at least one cart from legs buckling, and the switch wire took a tumble. And it looked okay, like I didn't see anything obvious that broke, but it must have chucked the gantry, because when we powered it on stream, one of the TMC 2209s like basically caught fire. It was pretty wild. There are no kits for Persa? West 3D has a choose your own adventure kit, no bottom panel. Wait, there are no kits? What is Persa? I don't know what that is. I thought you said salad fork. Is that a variation of salad fork? Also, I apologize that the lighting from this angle is not very good. I would open the door, but with it being 95 outside or whatever it is, I'm not going to today. I'm not going to today. There's nothing too exciting happening. We're just putting some screws on here. It's incredible how one's voice and way of talking sinks in. Daniel, I just watched the video about Millmage, and I thought, wait, I know that voice. It's pretty funny because like I am largely in charge of Lightburn and Millmage's YouTube channel, and it is funny when I see comments like, wait, is this Modbot? Or like, hey, Modbot, or something like that. So yeah, even without the face, a lot of people that come from 3D printing to, you know, laser space and use the software, like, wait, I know that guy. Are you using Millmage? Okay. Those are bolted in, and I think we've got 4 more bolts. Oh, got it. There's no kit per se. Got it. That makes a lot of sense. That's what you're trying to say. I think they mean... Yep. When I moved from Florida to Texas, we shipped all of our stuff except my printers. I rented a U-Haul and drove from Texas to Florida and back so they'd be safe. Yeah, I can understand that. Most stuff is replaceable, but for the printers, especially, you know, again, especially printers that you've built yourself, I tend to take more care. I tend to take more care of them because I'm like, this is my baby. I've spent a lot of my time making sure it was put together nicely. You remember that DM I sent you about repetitive strain? Yes, I DM. Oh no! Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was just, I don't know if you heard earlier, but I've got a lot of the parts printed. I did probably print out more than I should have to get started, but frame's done, and then I'm doing a bunch of stuff in PCCF. Basically, any of like the gearbox, the gears, and a few other things, and then I'll switch back to PTG. But I will absolutely charge up my electric screwdriver to prevent unnecessary wrist strain, because like you said, there is a ridiculous amount of hardware for that build. I am very excited to build it though. I showed Jack the picture of the box, and I don't think he fully understands when I said Daddy's gonna be building a large truck, son. Like he's like, cool, but I don't think he fully understands it. But once it starts coming together, he will, and he's gonna be so excited about it. I'll give it a try. I just got back to building my own CNC. Nice. I'm at the wiring stage, so it's close to moving, and then start learning CNC software. What does your CNC, like, what are some of the specs on it? Are you doing spindle? Are you doing trim router? And I guess largely what controller and firmware are you running? Because I know Milmage works with, like, most of the printers, or not printers, the CNC, the two main ones I have here are Shipoko and an old Nomad, and those are just using standard Gerbil, or maybe not standard Gerbil, but Gerbil, so it can directly communicate with them as well. But I know for some of the CNC firmwares, you can still create your tool paths and like do your design work, but you have to use sort of like a control software, a separate control software, depending on the firmware. Okay, that is a very secure bottom panel, I think. Next up, we are doing the screen. Let's pick this guy up. Hun? Jackie? You wanna say hi real quick? Okay, let me carry you. Jack wants to say hi. I was just talking about you. You said Daddy's gonna build a big truck, right? Why didn't I close the door? I don't know. Daddy made a mistake. I think I was trying to be quiet or something. Come here, Bo. Oh, it is way colder in this house. Oh, it's the AC leaking into the garage. All right, we have a visitor. You say hi, everybody? You tell everybody, are you excited to go camping? Yeah? Tell everybody, what are you most excited about for camping?
My shovel.
Your shovel?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. I thought you were going to say marshmallows.
Marshmallows and shovel.
Marshmallows and shovels?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you excited Daddy's going to build a big truck? Yeah? Do you want to see the wheels for the truck?
Yeah.
Yeah? Hold on, Bum. You okay? You're not going to fall on me? We're gonna make a big truck, and then when Daddy's done with it, you're gonna drive it around, right? I didn't make those. That's from the kit. Yeah, he's a big dude, man. Huh? Can you tell everybody how old are you? 3? No, that's 4 with your. You gotta show them 3 with your fingers. It's a little tricky to get the fingers right. Almost. Oh. Yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, you got a big 3-year-old. Aaron was just looking at a photo from a year ago, and like he looked like such a little man, and like he still looks pretty similar, but he's really like really stretched out, man. Huh? He's gotten pretty tall. Well, I gotta get to work. I gotta get to work to try to get some more progress on this. But you want to press one button?
Yeah.
Just one, okay? All right, ready?
Yeah.
There you go. Oh, just press it once.
I wonder what's for dinner.
All right, let me carry you back. What's that?
You like that one?
He asked if you guys like that one. All right, can you say bye-bye, everybody? Daddy's gonna build for a little bit longer, and then we got gymnastics, right? Yeah. You excited? Yeah, it's gonna be fun, right? Okay, can you say bye-bye, everybody? All right, I'll carry you so you don't have to walk barefoot. Come here, ready? Turn the other way. Turn towards me. There you go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, there, bub. It feels a lot nicer. It's hot out here, huh? Yeah, it's not comfortable.
It's comfortable.
Oh, it is comfortable? Well, you go out there and build, huh? All right, so let's, yeah, dude he's getting too big. He still loves to climb all over me, and I'm like, dude, you can't. Daddy can't take you climbing all over me like I used to be able to. All right, let's bring you guys in a little closer so we can get the screen on. Pretty sure the screen is like one of the last things, and then we're just going to be connecting wires. I'm curious to see what cable management looks like down there, just because there's no other cover, there's no other panel, so. Desktop CNC size, okay, 3020 with spindle. The first controller will be Fluid NC. Running on ESP32, then I'd like to try some controller for Linux CNC. Nice. That's awesome. Is the build based off of another, like, are you looking at something to sort of get ideas for the build, or not so much? I know there's a lot of CNC builds out there. Okay, where's our... Is this the bag with the LCD screen? Sure looks like it. Also, I need to add, we also have not put like drivers on the controller itself, so I definitely need to do that. All right, so this guy looks like, let's peel off our, that is not coming off clean, or like pretty, very aggressive peel. Micro Maker is 3 in a few weeks, and Mini is 5 a few weeks later. It's crazy. We always celebrate Micro's escape from NICU. Yeah, that is absolutely something that's worth celebrating. Got it. So here's a 3 and 5. So you're basically 2 years ahead of me as far as the Munchkins go. SARS are Landon is 10 months 1 week. So he was born August 31st, June, July. Yeah, so he's 10 months 1 week. And then Jack is 3 years, April, May, June, July. 3 years, 3 months roughly. Okay. So we got this. It looks like we need a faceplate. Do we have a skinny faceplate somewhere? Here we go. Faceplate is going like this. Huh. Doesn't really... It's definitely a tighter, like, tighter fit than I was sort of anticipating. Probably fine. But yeah, definitely, like, it's gonna have a little bit of a bow in the front. Make sure I'm not doing anything wrong. Oops. I don't think so. Okay. M316 button heads is what we are using. They're all good buttons when Jack presses them. Yeah, he loves, I would say, gymnastics is the highlight of his Wednesday, but pressing buttons is probably a close second. He definitely seems to like the I wonder what's for dinner button. It's his go-to. Okay, M316, M316. You guys are right here. Okay. All right. It's not very in focus. You have the advantage because I've got at least 10 years on you. That is fair. With my messed up back from car wreck when I was in high school, I think 10, I would not be able to. I'm already struggling now to like keep up, and there's definitely times or like days where I tell Aaron like, hey, I cannot carry Landon today. My back is just killing me. So yeah, I couldn't do it. So I mean, I would do it, but it would definitely be more challenging for sure. We're all getting old. I have 2 busted shoulders, elbow, and a broken... Yeah, I can relate to the broken brain. Yeah, my main thing is my back, man. I've got... I've talked about it quite a few times over the years, but when I was in high school, I got into a car that I wasn't supposed to be inside of. I wasn't wearing a seatbelt, which I know better than, and in the short half-mile distance we drove, I was in the back seat, and the girl flipped a UE, and some car caught off another car that was probably going like 45, 50 miles an hour, and we were in a car, they were in an SUV, and they just hit us basically on the side and just chucked us across the road, and then they just sped off. And so I flew from behind the driver's seat to behind the passenger seat. My back was all like basically burnt up from the fabric of the seat rubbing against my back as it pushed me. And I wasn't thinking, like the adrenaline rush and all that. And I had a friend that had actually passed away on that same road. Like, I don't even know if it was a year prior to that. So I was mentally in a really weird place when it happened, and so I basically checked on the girls to make sure that they were okay and they hadn't gotten pinned, and they seemed, other than being a little hysterical about their car, they were fine physically. And so once I confirmed that, I just sort of left the scene, and found out afterwards that because I left the scene, like I wasn't going to be covered for any sort of like medical stuff, and I didn't tell my parents about it because I didn't want to be grounded for summer. And then the pain kicked in like a week and a half later, and I've been dealing with it for, you know, the last 17 or so years. It's definitely a lesson learned. Definitely a lesson learned. That's the main thing that it really screwed up my body. I got lucky with my back. My back was broken playing rugby. Oh, jeez. Hey, BBs! Sorry, I just saw you. Hey, George! I didn't see you guys come in. Sorry about that. All right. There's like a little bit of a bow on this, but not too bad. For the purpose it's serving, it won't be noticeable. Yesterday I had a radial ablation on both sides of my L4 and L5 CS. Back issues are not fun. I don't know what a radial ablation is, Lisa. Do you have a... Is that something to address pain, or is that something for further diagnostics? I don't... Since it's radiation, it makes me think maybe X-ray related stuff, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's something with pain management. I'm not sure. All right, we need a knob. We've got a knob. Knob is going on. There we go. Alrighty. Knob is on. I assume we're attaching this to the front of the machine now. Interesting. So we're just using a strand of filament. That will be fun to try to fit through. Okay. Let's see. We've got PLA. We've got PLA. It probably doesn't matter what filament we use. We'll just use PLA. I was going to go hunting for something else, but probably doesn't matter. Okay. I don't know that I've used... I mean, I've used filament strands for some sort of, like, hinge before, I think, but I don't recall doing it for the front screen like this. I wonder why they decided to do that over just using, like, an M3 screw of sorts. Okay, let me cut this at an angle to see if it makes it a little bit easier to get in. That's a nerve... Oh, a nerve... Got it. So it is then for pain management, basically, by burning the nerves. I assume that's what it does. They remove the bone. Wow. Stick one needles in your back and... Gosh. Whew. That does not sound fun, Lisa. I hope that it helps, though. I mean, obviously that's the whole point of doing it. I'm sorry that you're... sorry that you're having to go through that. That just sounds, it just sounds, I mean, it sounds painful. Okay, that's not going in. Okay, so the filament definitely fits through there. Okay, no, it totally fits through here. So it must be an alignment thing. I think that's going to be the hardest part of this, is getting this to align. The filament just slides through. Oh yeah, buddy. All right. I don't know that I love that. I don't know that I love that over just a just an M3 screw. It probably fine. I mean, it doesn't stay up that well. And like, if you're wanting to use it, like, you're not gonna be able to use it like this. Every time you want to use it, you kind of have to, well, it stays sort of at an angle because of the way the printed part is, so it's probably fine. I probably should have done black versus red, because the build doesn't have any red and it kind of stands out a little bit, but that's okay. Running the next meeting, great chatting with you. Hey, thanks for stopping by, man. It's always nice seeing you in chat, and I am wishing you smooth sailing with your travels to Nebraska, and look forward to hearing what your thoughts are. But yeah, let's touch base. Maybe like Q4, like once October rolls around, to see if we can plan something out for next year. But yeah, thanks, man. Have a great day. I injured my back at work in 1982. I was sent to the doctor, paid by insurance company. Doctor never looked at me, did an exam, not even a question. Told me it was a sprain. Jeez, I still have problems and pain to this day. That's awful. My ortho told me I was due for knee replacement 5 years ago while doing shoulder. Oh, gosh. Billet makes for good hinge. Usually just push the red out with the black. Yeah, I might. It would be easy to just push it out. It actually went. You know what? I have black filament right here. Let's just do it for the sake of not thinking about it later. Let's just grab some black filament. Yeah, it's kind of annoying. I actually never got x-rays done on my back. I've just been dealing with it, and I finally was like, all right, I should get an x-ray done. And so they had me go in for just a sort of whatever a standard x-ray is called, not an MRI or anything like that. And they didn't see anything, which was frustrating. So I'm like, great, like, why? What was the purpose of this? I'm not lying. I've been in pain and my back locks up on me like once a year at least. But yeah, they did not see anything. So I assume that if I wanted to pursue it further, they would just use a different sort of imaging, like maybe an MRI. But I have not gone back regarding that specifically. Come on, black filament, what you doing? There we go. We're almost in. We're like on the last little segment here. There we go. All right, out with the red, in with the black filaments. Now you can't even tell it's there. I should have just, I don't know why I grabbed red. That was me being silly. Okay, awesome. That is in. What did Gergman say? Ignorance of our bodies is lost on most. Yeah, I agree. I was definitely not. I mean, thankfully I was careful compared to a lot of friends that I had. I hung out with a lot of kids that were skateboarding a lot and jumping down like 8, 9, 10 stairs, and I never took it above like 2 stairs. So although I did some stuff that I still definitely could have gotten hurt, like I had some sort of a risk tolerance that was less than a lot of buddies. Oh wow, we're just plugging stuff in now. Cool. Let me check to see if the part is done on the Prusa. Let me see here. It says printing. Okay, it's at 90% done. There's 5 minutes left. So let's start with doing... Let's start by doing a little bit of wiring here. Accent color? The red? Oh, you're saying I should have done it yellow? Also, hi John. I missed when you came in. I wish I could have gone into medical more when I was younger instead of just pushing through. Yeah, me too. I will preach it to my son. And we'll see if he listens any more than I did to my parents, you know? One of those things about being a kid. You don't realize till you're older that mom and dad actually knew some stuff, you know? As a kid, it's like, I get it, mom, I get it, dad. But now I'm like, oh man, they were not right about everything, but they certainly knew more than I thought that they did when I was a kid. Okay, so the PSU, oh, this is really loose. I need to take the camera off here later today and thread the attachment. So the PSU wire is like right, or the AC inlet wire is right here next to the PSU, and it is super long. So that's gonna be a little, it shouldn't be too bad. I might just like go down and then loop it back a little bit, but I'm definitely gonna cut some of this wire. Also, the AC wire is tinned, which that's not good. We definitely don't want that. So I don't think I've got my crimps out here for this, so I might just keep it as bare wire. Oops. I might just keep it as bare wire and clamp it down for now. I did that for a long time before I actually had the proper crimpers. And it's fine. Let's see, do I have wire strippers? I don't even know if I have wire strippers down here. Oh, I do, yeah, okay. All right, so let's see, how much length do I want? Or maybe I do, no, I don't, I should give some slack, because if I go straight in, that is really, you guys can't see that so well, can you? Let's move camera, there we go. Yeah, if I go straight in, it's like right here, so I think I'm probably going to go down and loop back, so we'll cut it somewhere here. I'll probably just tuck excess wire underneath later. So we'll just say right about here is where we're gonna cut. I love sketchy wires. Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't add just like fork or spade terminal connections to these wires. But that's not the end of the world, but I am really surprised that these are tinned wires, especially for AC wires. It's a very interesting, it's not good. So if anyone builds one of these, don't use those wires. Definitely cut and strip, because tinned wires will soften with time, and that can be dangerous. It's a pretty thick sleeve. Let's try right there. Nope, that is not the right. Why are we not stripping? Actually, that did not work well. I'm gonna start this over. Let me cut this guy right here. I feel like I need an in-between size that I don't have. So let's try to cut, and no, it's not wanting to do what I want it to do. So I'm going to use that to basically pull off most of the wire, and then I'm going to use flush cutters to trim the little bit of excess that's sticking off the end. So I go one size down, it wants to cut some of the wire, and I'd rather not remove any strands of the AC wire. Hey, Armor! Hey, Armor, you are just on time. I'm wrapping up, I don't know if I even told you, I know I told you I was making a video on it, but I'm wrapping up the PCCF video. It will be out on Saturday. I've got half of it edited. I was up till like 2 in the morning editing it yesterday, so I've got half of it left. It's a really technical video. I'm gonna I'm gonna put timestamps because like the first half of the video is just going over like TDS stuff and some of the explanation of what the TDS stuff means. And I never really know like how people that watch the video, like whether they actually care about that or not. And I never know how much to cover because if you've watched one of my videos, you kind of already know what impact strength, tensile strength, and you know, those values represent, heat deflection, stuff like that. But assuming there's people that watch that haven't seen that, I try to at least quickly cover it. But yeah, I'm gonna do timestamps for sure. That way people that are already like, I already know this stuff, man, they can just skip it. Okay, this is a slightly smaller gauge wire. Yeah, I don't know if it's my flush cutters or what, but this, you're not taking the sleeves off this very clean. There we go. I gotta actually do a bunch of wiring. I have to do a bunch of wiring this week because when I added sprinklers to the backyard, the landscaper ran additional sprinkler wire, and he buried it like an inch deep, right? It's just low voltage wire, so it's not like it's dangerous, but he buried it. I'm gonna cut these two. These are a little bit too long. He buried it like an inch deep, and it goes right where the slab is gonna be poured. So when they excavate a little bit to prepare the base for the concrete, they are going to just mangle that wire. So I picked up some waterproof sleeves that are basically like waterproof heat shrink sleeves. So I've got to cut and extend a lot of the sprinkler wire. That'll be my task, one of my tasks for next week. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna cut off. I cut these wires a little bit long, so let me just cut like, let's see, that should be plenty of length. I'm just bringing the trash can because this wire, when you cut it, it flies little strands everywhere. And occasionally, we walk barefoot in here, which is not a good idea, but getting some copper wire in your toe sounds awful. Okay. So the strands look like they should be good. Don't you want to use ferrules? I wouldn't, for these screw terminals, I wouldn't use ferrules. I don't think. I usually only use ferrules for clamp down terminals. For this, I would ideally use like spade terminals, or spade, like, you know, fork, the U-shaped ones. I do have some upstairs. I can go grab them. I think that the Prusa print just finished as well. So if we want, I'll run up and grab the print and then grab those. I was just going to use bare wire because I assume that a lot of people that will be building this for a first printer are going to have wires, or just aren't going to have the right connectors. But you're right, I do have them, so we can. Oh, and I actually have the connectors right here as well. So yeah, we should absolutely be doing this. Let me just make sure. Let me make sure that these will fit around the screw. They should. I don't see why they wouldn't, but let's just make sure. It's gonna be a little bit, no, these are pretty flexible. It should be fine. To be honest, you won't print a lot with this printer, but better to show those watching who might do it the right way. We'll see. I'm gonna definitely set it up, run some prints on it. But yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be, certainly won't be the fastest of printers or having the most material compatibility. Let's see, yeah, those will fit just fine. Okay, so let's go ahead. We'll crimp these on. It'll give the polycarbonate just a minute to cool down. Also, somebody remind me in about 10 minutes to open up the giveaway, pretty please. All right, so this is going like this. Okay. Ideally, I don't usually twist these, but oops, I needed to fit inside of the terminal. Wow, that is a pretty stiff, or not, well, it is a pretty stiff wire, but it's also pretty thick wire. I might have to just twist the end to get it to fit. There we go. Okay. Open the giveaway in 10 minutes. Thank you. Yeah. You're right. I meant for. Okay, got it. Yeah. No, you're right. Fork terminal is totally the right way. Is the correct way to do things. You guys are right. You guys are right. I just a lot of the stuff that I did for a long time, like I just used what I had, and so I try to remember that not everybody has these tools. I didn't have these tools for years and years. So, but I guess maybe showing that I'm using them, but still stating like, hey, if you don't have these tools, you can definitely use bare wire, you know, if need be, but it's not as ideal. These are definitely borderline max size for these terminals, though. Or not for these terminals, but for these connectors. Sorry, words are tough. Yeah, making sure that they're nice and tight. They are. Okay, one last one. Don't forget to open the giveaway in 9 minutes. Thank you, Deanna. You guys are so helpful, amongst other things. What do you recommend for crimpers? I don't have a lot of, this is all I've ever used for this type of terminal, and I have no complaints. They are the iWis HS30Js. I can't, there you go. Can you guys see that? I don't know, it looks like it's in focus. Yeah, I've had these for probably now 6 or so years, and they're great. It does come with a little black carrying case where you can swap out the jaws. I lost that case, and I think I lost the jaws, but thankfully for what I've done, this is all that I've ever needed are these yellow, blue, and red, and I basically always just use red, even though this one blue might have been the better choice, but yeah, usually red is what I'm using for all of the 3D printing terminals that are like this. For ring terminals, I use this for like, yeah, for grounding rings when I'm trying to ground a frame or stuff like this. Okay, so that's good. Those are all nice and tight. But yeah, I don't have any other comparison for these crimp, like for this style crimp terminal, so there could be something out there that's a lot better, but I've been pleased with these. I don't find these very challenging to crimp, and those crimpers do well. iWis are the nice end of hobby affordable. Is that what it's supposed to be? No, it's isn't it? No, it's iWis. Like it's like you're peeing. It's iWis, IWISS. They're not iWis. Oh, you corrected it. Yeah. I'm like, no, it's like it's whiz. All right, so we've got brown going right here. Yeah, I don't love the name. I think that they could have spent a little bit more time planning that out. I usually call it iWis or iWis. Yeah, no, it's hard to not say iWis when you're reading the name for these. Okay, then we've got blue, which is our neutral, going in right here. These actually are looping pretty nicely. I'm fairly pleased with how the length that I left. I think this was a better choice than just cutting them so short they had to go directly in, which would have been annoying if I had to take this off and adjust later. There we go. And we got our earth. Sweet. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I feel like Steve would approve. It's got uniform shape. Oh no, there's Steve. Steve, do you approve? You approve of my loops? They changed their name to iCrimp. iCrimp is way better than iWis. Yeah, I like iCrimp a lot better. Awesome. Yes. Yes. Okay, let me go run up and grab that PC part that we printed so we can hopefully get the cable chain on, because that's sort of the next big thing, is getting the toolhead wiring down here. And then I'll be right back. Let me open, actually, I'll open up the giveaway a little bit early. Okay. And now Daniel says, I've inspired you to buy a tool? What do you mean? You have to have those. There's no way you don't have a set of crimpers for those. I'm gonna write down this day on my calendar, Steve. I inspired Steve to buy a tool. That is usually the other way around. Okay, I'm gonna take my microphone off. I'm gonna run upstairs. Oh, I hear Jack crying. Uh-oh. All right, it might be a minute. I'll be right back. Okay, I stood up there for an extra minute to soak up some of the AC. I have a set of crimpers, not thrilled with them. The HS30J on Amazon has several jaws included, which will... Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mentioned earlier, I'm pretty sure I lost my jaws. It comes with a little... If it's the same, like, listing I got, I mean, it's been, like I said, I think 5-6 years. I'm pretty sure it was when we were in Lake Forest that I bought them for... I think it was a Voron build. It came with a nice little black bag as well. I'm sure I have it. If I find that black bag, I can probably find the jaws, but the question is, where did that little black carrying case go? Okay, so the thing we've got to do is we need to put heat inserts into this part. And so let's do, hold on, let me move you guys out a little bit. The camera is like, it feels so hot. I'm really surprised that this camera has not... I think I had to change the sensitivity a long time ago to like the temperature sensor is like the lowest sensitivity possible, so it doesn't just trigger, but I'm feeling bad for that camera right about now. All right, so we need to install some heat inserts. So we need for sure 2. I think it's just 2. I'm pretty sure it's just 2 on this side. And this is PCCF, so we're gonna have to go pretty hot. Let's see, I've got this guy. You know what? We're gonna actually... No, I don't. Where's my... Interesting. I have my stealth press, but I don't have the actual soldering iron. Here's a soldering iron. I might just have to do these by hand. I don't know where... Where would I put a soldering iron? Okay, yeah, let's just try to do these by hand, I guess. Unplug this computer. We've still got enough slack, it looks like. Okay. Actually, let's make sure this kit came with heat inserts. How's the bed tolerance like on yours? I have one of these built and curious to see others. How's the bed tolerance? You mean like what, with some calipers to measure the thickness of the bed, or how does it look once I've run a mesh, or what exactly are you wanting to see? My calipers are not out here, so I unfortunately cannot measure the width of the bed right now. But assuming we're probably going to be chilling and printing next week, I can remember to bring my I can remember to bring them out. All right, let's see if I can do this. I'm not entirely sure that the temperature is going to work. It's working. Okay. Oops. Yeah, that seems fine. The tip I have on here is not ideal for this. Like, it doesn't want to release the heat insert. I'm also going to quickly thread a screw through them just to make sure that the threads are clear. So let's go from this way. Is that Caleb? Caleb, hey Caleb. Giveaway is open for anyone just joining in, so we will do our drawing in about 30 minutes. What temp did I set my iron to? I'm pretty sure it was at 350. I'm pretty sure it was at 350. That's the iron I use for actual soldering, so it was set a lot higher than what I would usually use for heat inserts for like ABS. That's my pine sol. I have the, I can't think of the, like whatever the TS, whatever it is, soldering iron is what I usually use for heat inserts, but I took it off of the stealth press for some reason, and I don't know where it is, so I just grabbed my one for the soldering iron. Yeah, the TS100, that's right. Yep. The bearings on the rods, oh, interesting. You're saying like if you take your bed and wiggle it left and right, there's play? That doesn't sound right. Like you can, that doesn't sound right at all. Have you reached out to Siboor? Because I know that when I got this kit, they had sent another set of linear rods saying that a few people had some issues. Here, like, let me, I don't, like, hopefully this will give you an idea. So, like, if I have the bed right here, right, and I take my fingers, here, let me, like, go from right here. That's, like, I'm pushing pretty hard left and right, and that's the amount of wobble I have. And that's with me, again, like, this is not just me, like, lightly tapping, like, I'm pushing pretty hard. So, if you have a lot more wobble than that, then I would reach out to them, because they did tell me that on, like, first batch, they had a few people that had some issues with their linear rods, and they didn't tell me the specifics of what the issues were, but based off what you're saying, maybe that's what it was. Yeah, Gergman's saying same thing. I would reach out to them. They had told me that if anyone had issues, basically just to contact them. Yeah, the only things that they swapped out for me were the linear rods. I think that's it. I'm pretty sure it was just linear rods. I think that's all it was, so, yep. Yep. All right. Oh, that's right. So we're going to try to install this part now. Okay. I am going to do my best to not snap this again. So let's see how this goes. Man, I am hot and sweaty and can't tell if like it's me or whether it's my shirt that wasn't fully dry and then I put it on, now it's smelling. I just feel very uncomfortable. I'm glad that you guys are hanging out with me over video and not in person. I'd be a lot more self-conscious about right now. Okay, so let us take these off. So this is the piece that was included with the build that I snapped. Basically, when I went to try to put the cable chain on, it did not like that. So we are going to take that off. All right. And then this is going like this. Uh-oh. That is tighter. There we go. Okay. So, on the topic of food, does anybody that has done some camping have any recommendation for food? So we are bringing a like propane Coleman stovetop, and promised Jack we'd be doing hot dogs. I'm trying to figure out, like, we're only gonna be there for basically 2 nights, 3 days. I'm trying to figure out food. Probably just do like sandwiches one day, and like for breakfast, cereal's easy enough. I'm just curious, is there anything that like I'm not thinking of that would be really good for a not super complicated shrimp tacos? I don't know that I've ever made shrimp tacos. Camping or not camping, I don't know that I've ever made shrimp tacos. Pancake mix, yeah, that's an easy one. Maybe Aaron could bring that because we've got that. S'mores we're definitely doing, I promised Jack. Potatoes. Oh, you mean like just basically chop up and like frying pan? Trail mix, definitely bringing trail mix. Oatmeal we could do as well, of course, yeah. For camping, I like the easy one pot meals, pasta, chili, stuff like that. Yeah, I was thinking that like spaghetti would be pretty simple as well. Okay, everyone say it like, I don't know, just, okay, I'm gonna squeeze. Come on. Oh. Don't break. Yes! Yes! Alright, alright, that was a really satisfying snap. Okay, so we got that in without snapping it. I am very pleased about that. Okay, so for this side, the only thing I'm not entirely sure of is how we want to actually, why are these cables? I've got like one cable in particular that is not, hold on. I gotta find this cable. There's like one cable out of the bunch that is not the same length as the rest. Where is it? There we go. Okay, got it. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug this in. Let's see. Oh, I'm gonna campfire meals. Yeah, Erin's done that once. I think she usually does like potatoes, carrots, and some kind of meat. Bacon and eggs. Bacon and eggs sounds... Maybe that's what we'll do for breakfast one day. I told Erin eggs sounded pretty good. Burgers. I'll keep it simple. Burgers, hot dogs, stuff that can be made on a griddle. Stir fry is good too. Breakfast is eggs, bacon, and or pancakes. Heat the part... Oh, heat the part up. Yeah, I got it. We did it. Stir fry is really good too. Mom used to bring hot dogs, sandwich stuff, individual cereals, and drinks. Yeah, okay. Hot dogs we're definitely doing. I told Jackson we would do hot dogs. And we did hot dogs on the 4th, but Jackson dropped everything, every food I gave him on the 4th, he dropped on the concrete floor. To be fair, he did not have a table to eat off of, so he was sitting on like a camp chair eating food out of his lap. But I made him a hot dog, and the hot dog fell onto the driveway. I gave him a watermelon, the watermelon fell onto the driveway. I gave him a platter of food, and he dropped all of it on the driveway. I'm just like, I was like, I was pretty frustrated in the end. I was like, dude, come on, man. Okay, so the only thing I don't know right now is how we want to route this, because the wires need to go down. So I'm thinking we're gonna need some slack. Maybe just like that. It's a little tight. Maybe just like that. Okay, I don't want to break this part either, so hold on. Come on. There we go. There's not, I like to have a little bit more slack. Why are we not snapping onto the pegs, dude? This should be... Am I pinching something? It doesn't... Oh, I think there's a wire being pinched. Come on. Okay, there's no wires. Okay, we're good. I think we're good. Yeah, nothing's pinched, but this is not... It's just not sitting flush the way I'd like it to be. I think that's fine. I think that's good enough. I do wish there was a little bit more slack here. There's nothing to like hold. It'd be nice if there was a little zip tie slot somewhere here to hold the wires onto, but they did use like an adhesive, so hopefully that's just enough to, I don't know. Heat up the part of it. I don't have my heat gun. I do have a heat gun actually. Put sausage, green beans, potatoes into foil with butter and wrap it up and cook it over the fire. My parents call them hobos. Yeah. Maybe hook up the chain before connecting the cable. Campfire lasagna. That sounds delicious. I am a big lasagna fan. Okay, I wish the only thing I want to figure out is if we can find some way to like keep the slack from wanting to go back. Like there's not. I wonder if I just use like a zip tie, if the zip tie would be enough to zip tie. You know what? A large zip tie might be all I need. If I do a large zip tie and kind of bunch these together, it probably will prevent this from being able to slide into the chain. Let's try that. I think that might be all I need. Let's just try this. If we go like this, okay. And then let's give some slack. That maybe. Yeah, that actually seems like it worked. Cool. There we go. Yeah, I just wanted, you can see now there's like a little bit of a, here, I'll change the camera angle so you can see kind of what I'm talking about, but the wire just wanted to slide down into the extrusion and there is adhesive on the plug, but now at least there's a little bit of slack for sort of some strain relief. So yeah, before this was just pulling directly on there, but I added a zip tie right here, and the zip tie is kind of acting, as long as it stays there, which I think it will. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going anywhere. It's pretty wedged. There's a little bit of a slack loop there, which is nice. Okay. So now we need to get these wires underneath the printer. So we are gonna take our other cable chain, which I think I moved. There it is. Zip tie to the back side of the chain, upright. Wait, yeah, that's what I. Zip tie to the back of the. Wait, is that not what I did? Maybe you're saying to the back of the chain, upright. Got it. Did you mean basically just like zip tie the cables to this before it goes in? Because that could have worked too. I love camping. The only way I can get my wife to go is in a camper. Yeah, I know that's ideally what Aaron would like, but I always tent camped, and I really want to. I mean, you guys have seen Jack; he's getting big, so I really want to start taking some time and at least once a year go camping. We're just doing a quick little, Friday through Sunday thing this time because we've never camped together. But I'd love to work up to like a 5 or 6 day type of trip. Okay. So wires are going up. Yeah. So let's let us open up the cable chains. Also, let me have a drink of water. I brought myself a glass of water knowing it was gonna be hot. I haven't had a sip. Oops. I've only gone glamping at a Jellystone campsite in a cabin. Yeah, most of my life, like, I would say at least 10 to 15 times, my family would go camping up in Big Sur, which is Northern California. It's like a 6 to 7 hour drive from where we lived. So we would drive up there, and I think we would camp for like 5 days, and we would spend most of the days at the campsite, but we would do for one day, we would drive into San Francisco and, you know, kind of explore San Francisco. But yeah, the campsite was a ton of fun. I mean, it was like, we would do hiking, biking, we did some fishing. We had a big inflatable boat that would fit my whole family, and we would blow that up and go floating down. There's a river, and that was always a ton of fun. Like, just, I don't know, man. It was nice. I'm just looking forward to trying to disconnect for a couple of days, because I've been so connected to everything for so many years now that I'm like, I don't even know what it's like to be just chilling for a day or two. And I've been saying for years, like, I gotta take a couple days and just go relax, but I always come up with an excuse, so no excuses this time. I'll deal with having to fight, scare away a bear. Yeah, we got bear spray, but my understanding is where we're going, there should not be any bears. But keyword should. I'd rather be safe than sorry, so we do have some bear spray. Okay, so this is going like this. Okay, so I'm gonna start by just installing the cable chain on by itself. Just want to wrestle one once. I'll let you do that, man. I have no desire to wrestle bears. I will say, for anyone that's in the United States, if you ever go to Arizona, there is a place called Bearizona, which is like a amusement park wouldn't be the right word. It's like a nature reserve type thing for bears, but the bears are not behind cages. You just sort of drive through in your car, and that was the closest I've ever been to a bear by far, and it was very cool. Yeah, I did that like, gosh, 6 or 7 years ago, probably. Come on, cable chain. Give me my link, dude. Why are we putting up such a fight? All right, here we go. Okay, so for these, we are using M310 flatheads. I haven't seen that many toolhead wires in a while. Yeah, I'm so used to CAN bus or USB connection, so it is definitely interesting seeing just a wire harness like that. Okay, so it looks like we want M310s for this guy. We would have a bear visit often up at the cabin. That's crazy. Yeah, I've never seen a bear out in the wild like that. And I've spent a lot of time outdoors. I mean, I don't hunt and like that, so I've never gone like, you know, like that level of rural wilderness, but still, I've spent a lot of time outdoors in the forest, like, I mean, in the forest, around trees, hiking and stuff like that. But yeah, I've never spotted a bear out in the wild. I think we saw a mountain lion one time, from a far distance away, basically just like looking out. But yeah, most of what I've seen is like ran into some rattlesnakes, coyotes, and that's really it. It's something like that. I did something like that in South Africa, except bears for lions. Oh my gosh, wasn't okay until the younger ones decided to take an interest in the hire car. That sounds, I think I would rather take my chances with a bear than a lion. Maybe not, I mean, but that's where I'm at right now. Why are we not going in? There we go. I'd rather not face either of them, if I'm being perfectly honest with you. That's the name of a band. Oh, I wrestled a bear once. I am not familiar with that band. Okay. So this is, one side is on. Let's go ahead now and just let me zoom out of here. Also, for anyone, I haven't said it in a few minutes, but the giveaway link is open. Also, I don't think I've said it once this stream, but if you haven't hit the like button, now is your reminder to please do so. Okay, so this is going like this. This should have a little bit more flex to it because it's not a printed part. I don't know what are cable chains typically made out of? Does anyone know? I wish there was another zip tie slot here for some more slack. I don't love how tight that wants to pull from one chain to the other. That would have been easy for them to add too. That would have been easy for them to add a little zip tie slot. Okay, so the last thing I need to do is attach the cable chain to the bottom here, but I do have to take off the link, the end link. Okay. Give me my cable chain. There we go. Okay, so for this side, let's see, they are a metal band. Got it, not bad. Also not my favorite, but I've heard worse. You don't want to meet a grizzly. Yeah, I would rather meet a, I've heard black bears are kind of just like big teddy bears. So if I had to meet one in the wild, I would want it to be a black bear. Grizzlies, from everything I've heard, are just insane. And if you meet a grizzly bear, like, you know, say your prayers. It's basically it for you. So yeah. Or are polar bears aggressive too? I don't know much about polar bears. Hey, Daddy's almost done. I'll be in about 10 minutes, okay? You look nice. I am sweaty and stinky. Y'all, I'll be in shortly, buddy, okay? Not right now. I gotta finish this up, okay? Daddy's almost done, all right? And then we're gonna go gymnastics. Must have not locked the door. Okay, let's try to get the second one in. It's a little bit awkward of an angle. Polar bears are the only bear that actively hunts. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. My my main visual of a polar bear is drinking a Coca-Cola. So yeah, I don't know. Oops. Oh, nuts. Where'd you go? Yeah, I don't know much about polar bears. I'll tell you what though, yeah, if I was out in the wild and one approached me and I had one, I would certainly hand it a Coca-Cola. Seems to be the... Sorry, you guys are gonna just get a head visual for a sec here. Come on, screw! There we go. Okay. I just gotta snug these up and then we should be in good shape. Most are nylon or maybe ABS. Yeah, the flexibility of that makes me think nylon. Not that ABS doesn't have flex, especially injection molded materials in general are gonna be behaving at least a bit different than printed, but nylon makes sense to me. Okay. I've seen, like, there's a sporting store or whatever out here where they have a bunch of taxidermy animals, and I'm pretty sure that one of them has a polar bear up top. And I've seen, obviously from a distance, but it did look like quite a behemoth of an animal. All right, so let's see if we can shove all these connectors. I don't think we're gonna be able to shove them all at once. Might need to do a few at a time here. There we go. Right. Bam. Beautiful. All right. Nice. Oh, it's looking really good. Hold on, let's. Oops. Why are we wobbling? What am I on top of? No, seriously, what am I on top of? Oh, I don't see. There we go. Okay. Let's make sure we've got no. That motion seems good. Gets a little bit tight right there. Probably fine. Like borderline being fine. Chain goes up. So this does bump the top up here. So that's going to be our limiting factor for height, but it should still be fine. I also probably need to cut these belts a little bit shorter. I didn't want to cut them too short just in case I screwed something up, but once we get to the end, we will probably need to trim those. The Orange Coast Aquarium outlines of various bears of polar bear is by far the largest. It's crazy. They're beautiful looking animals. That doesn't mean that they're not ferocious, but they are gorgeous. Hey Dougal. All right, 3 more minutes on the giveaway, guys. 3 more minutos. All right, so we got this done. Yeah, we're basically done with the build. I think all that is left is connecting things. We did all this today. Yeah, it's literally just your bound intersection involves AC and DC wiring. Here be dragons. Okay. Extruder motors. We did that. Toolhead breakout PCB. What is that? 24 volt control board? Huh. I'll have to look for that. So we're printing next week's our last stream. It'll basically be, and I don't want to jinx myself because I typically do when I say like, oh, it'll just be a chill stream. But the game plan is next week we just plug in the rest of the wires, power this bad boy on, and then print. And then after that we are moving on to the Unimog build. Ideally, I still want to create a strain relief for this thing, but with me being out of town for at least a few days, I don't know that I'll get a chance to for this build series, but that's really my only complaints so far really about this build are that the bed does not have strain relief, which is definitely not great. It is a low voltage bed, and thank goodness it's not AC, so that is at least a plus, but it still should be, there should be strain relief. And then the other thing is that the AC wires were tinned. That's the bigger no-no to me. Easier to fix for sure, but still, like, they should know better. They've built enough printers and printer kits to know that. I'm really curious to see how this works. The little tap with the limit switch, the physical switch on top. Did you wire the toolhead yet? Yes, like connected everything to the toolhead board. I did that off stream. So we built the Dragon Burner last week on stream, and then I think after the stream I just screwed in the little boom PCB and plugged everything in. That was pretty simple. I don't think I had any issues with that. The wires, I didn't have to extend any wires. They were like the perfect size, and then I had one wire that was a little bit too long, and I just kind of like, I think I just shoved it in there and then used a zip tie to keep it from popping out. Yeah, it's really interesting to me seeing a bed slinger with like a tap setup like this. All right, 1 more minute, everybody, and then we will do the giveaway drawing. Whew. Hey, Balance. We did quite a bit today. So we did the toolhead last week. I got it mounted last week, but we ran the wires from the toolhead to the bottom. We got the screen mounted. We got the bottom panel installed. We got the AC inlet installed. Bottom panel with the power supply and the board, and then we hooked up the AC from the AC inlet to the power supply. So all that's really left is running our 24 volts from the power supply to the main board. It says something about 24 volts to the toolhead board, but I think I'm maybe just looking at that image wrong. I imagine we're probably just going to take 24 volts directly from the power supply for that. Very likely, that's likely what the case is going to be. But yeah, it's really just plugging stuff in and then next week powering on. I am a little bit confused, actually, now that I think about it. So I did say that Siboor sent over like replacement linear rods. They did send over one other thing as well that I just remembered, and it is this. It's a Raspberry Pi, which is really... Wait, Siboor's here. I'm constantly sending all of those recommendations to engineers. Cool. Well, that's awesome. I'm glad you're here and appreciate that. One of the extra things that I was sent is a Raspberry Pi. Is this because some people are converting this to Clipper instead of Marlin, and that's what this is for in case we want to do a Clipper conversion? Because based off my understanding is that like the default is just running Marlin, and if that's the case, I wouldn't think we need any additional host outside of the main board itself. But yeah, so since you're here, and you probably already heard it, but really the only pieces of feedback I have is if we could figure out a way to add strain relief to the bed so that way it's not just this, like the plug, where is it at? The plug here does have a little lip to grab onto, but outside of that, like it would be nice if there was just a small printed part that would go from, where is the bed power cable?
Smash the thumbs up, everyone.
Nice! Thank you so much, man, for the donation. Yes, smash the like button. Here it is. So yeah, power cable just plugs in right here. But what it would be nice to have is something to act as a strain relief for these wires right here. Like if it was just a small printed piece that may be attached onto where one of the screws are from the bed mounting points that just like came out here and then it let you zip tie this to the printed part. That way the flex or the strain isn't, you know, right where those pieces are. That would be awesome. I'm trying to think if there's anywhere else. How are these connected? Are these just... Oh, there's screws. Oops, sorry, I hit my head. Honestly, this might be the better point to make the strain relief off of. I think there's a screw that's going in from this bottom piece to this retaining piece into the bed. And if we just had this piece where it was a little bit longer and kind of like went out here, that would be awesome. It's a super simple fix, but just for like proper strain relief would make a pretty big difference. And then the bigger one, which I'm sure you probably saw, was just that the AC wires, were tinned. See if I can show that. There's solder on them, and like that's definitely that can be quite unsafe, especially because it's AC wire, and if the solder softens over time and then the connection becomes like the connection's not as good because the wire shifts around, that could be dangerous and cause problems for sure. Honestly, like if you guys were able to just include these, where are they? Where did I put them? Oh, if you guys could just install these onto there, why are we not focusing? That would solve the problem altogether. Just basically crimp little fork or spade connectors onto the end for the power supply for the AC wires, and then that's all that would need to be done. But yeah, I mean, again, the goal is to provide feedback, so if you're listening, then I greatly appreciate it. Gergman, thank you so much, man, for the gifted membership. It looks like Roth, Bob got it, and then Armor. Phil, an article I just read said they are sisters. What? Thank you for the 22 months. Thank you guys. All right, let's do the giveaway. They're spades. Okay. Is spade? What's the difference? Are they not the same thing? Spade. I think I've looked this up before, and it says that they are used interchangeably. Spade versus fork connector. Spade and fork terminals are effectively the same electrical connector. Both feature U-shaped open metal tongues to slip around. Yeah, it looks like they're the same thing, but there's different types of fork connectors. So, all right, we are doing the giveaway. So if you have entered in, you are in. If you've not entered in, well, we will try again next week. Here we go, 76 responses. Okay, where's the wheel? Don't see the wheel names. Hey, have a great night, Armor. Okay, here we go. So for anyone that hasn't been here before for one of these giveaways, Polymaker is our awesome provider of these giveaways. They are global. If you're in the US, Canada, or a few other countries and you win, you will get a gift card. Everywhere else gets a spool of filament up to $35 in value off their website. I don't know if their restocking sale is still going on, but there is a link in the description, and if you do purchase through that link, it does support the channel. Certainly not required, but it is always appreciated, and people do use those links, so thank you to everyone that is currently using them and has been using them. I think we're going to shuffle 8 times, because I think this is the 7th stream, and I feel like there's going to be a total of 8 streams for this series. Well, there will be. No, not I think. There will be. So let's go ahead and do 8 shuffles, and then we will spin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's remove the ad. And here we go. Good luck to you all. Thanks, Siboor. Have a wonderful week. Next week should be the last stream. We'll get this thing printing. Deanna! Have you won twice now or no? You have won twice now, right? I'm pretty sure, because I know that was the big thing, was like you haven't won. And then I'm pretty sure you ended up winning. I think you've won twice now. And if you've won twice now, you've won more than quite a lot of people. So the stars have aligned a second time now. Where's Deanna? Where is Deanna? Yes, there she is. You won. You won. Yeah, you've won twice. I'm pretty sure. Nice. Nice. See, we're playing catch up. We're playing catch up. I think Tuxedo, we got to get you one, right? I'm pretty sure you still, it has not rolled in your favor yet. It'll happen. It will happen. Congratulations. So I think I did already a cheer, but congratulations, Deanna. I will get you that link tonight, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, massive congratulations. That is awesome. You have made me a happy. Oh man, that is awesome. Okay, I gotta get inside, guys. I'm sweating my butt off. I'm gonna drink some water, sit for like 10 minutes, and then get Jackson to gymnastics. Wish me luck. I will have stories to tell next week when it comes to camping. And then I also, yeah, that's it. I think that's it. Wish me luck. I will let you guys know. I'm sure I'll have discussions about camping as well as food, what we decided to eat there. So have a wonderful rest of your week. And there will be a video on Saturday as well, so keep on the lookout for that. I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Thanks, everyone.